After a 4-game win streak for the Vancouver Canucks to start their road trip, we have snapped back to reality, and the Vancouver Canucks have lost 2 straight, sending them right back down to the bottom of the standings, where they truly belong, how they've been playing this season, and where most fans do want them to see, including me, although I did want them to make the playoffs. At this current moment, I wouldn't mind getting a nice draft pick. How's it going, guys? I am CanucksLand. Welcome back to This Week in CanucksLand, where we recap all the games from this past week. And we just have 2 of them to recap. We have the game against the Philadelphia Flyers to close out the road trip. There was a big holiday break right there. And then we go to the game against the San Jose Sharks, coming right out of it. And there's a game against Seattle tonight. As you're watching this video, that'll be a part of the next video. But there's some news that we'll go over, and I'll give you my thoughts on the last 2 games. And 3 starts of the week. And that's it, right? Yep, that's about it. So let's hop right into it as we snap back into reality with the game against the Philadelphia Flyers. Going into it, vibes were high. The Vancouver Canucks were 4-0 since the Quinn Hughes trade. Everything looked to be trending up. A lot of people were saying maybe Quinn Hughes was the problem. A lot of delusional people were saying that because Quinn Hughes wasn't obviously the problem. Obviously, this team would get a little bit of a boost, right? We're more of a complete team. We picked up 2 more forwards. We picked up a defenseman who's 20 years old, who has a good projection for the future. I'm probably going to get a little bit of a boost because there's more assets filling out this team until this Philly game. And then it was like, oh yeah, this is Canucks hockey. This is Canucks hockey. As the Flyers would start off with a shot from the point that would be tipped by Nikita Gerbankin, the former Toronto Maple Leaf, and they would take a 1-0 lead. And Gerbankin would pick up another one as he would send the puck in front to Grundstrom. He would shoot it first, and then he'd pick up the rebound, and it would be in, and the Vancouver Canucks would be down 2-0. And at this point, I was like, here we go, Canucks hockey. We're down 2-0. It took a while for the Flyers to strike, and then eventually when they did, they got 2, then they got 3. As Zegras puts the puck on goal, it goes right up in the air. And then Dvorak under the crossbar, just barely tips it in. It was a nice, pretty cool tip if he was planning on getting it under the crossbar, which you usually do. To get it in, they reviewed it, they called it a good goal, and the Canucks would strike with one from Connor Garland, giving it to Max Sasson. He would skate in and put a 5-hole, and we would get one. That's the only one we get, is Owen Tippett would skate in, break Tom Wielander's ankles, and he would make a nice power move to the net, flick it over Demko, and it would be 4-1 for the Flyers, just when we thought we had a chance. The Vancouver Canucks would make a push, though, because they have a 3-goal deficit. They're trying to get it back. They would get stopped on the zone entry. Cates would get it to Michkov. He would send it all the way down the ice, and Michkov would put it in the empty net. But before the Canucks could lose 5-1, they had to pick one more up just to make themselves look a little bit better. As Zeke Boyum would skate in, he would find Drew O'Connor in the slot for a one-timer. He would put it in, and the Vancouver Canucks would only lose 5-2 instead of 5-1. Just wasn't a great game. A little demoralizing after a 4-game win streak, but honestly, this is the team that we honestly expect right now with how they've been playing. We don't expect them to be a team that goes on a 4-game win streak. We expect them a team that gets blown out in a fashion where we're still not letting in as many goals as we should have. It was not great, but we would take a little bit of a holiday break and we'd move into a game against the San Jose Sharks, who I thought, you know what, they are a good team this year. They're about 500. They're a better team than they were last year, but I was hoping for a better game. As the scoring would be open from a shot from the point from Diorio, I think it was, and it would sneak by Demko. He tried to put the blocker on it, but Reeves would poke it in, and the Sharks would take a 1-0 lead. And then they would add another one with John Klingberg's shot from the point beating Demko clean. And it would be 2-0 for the Sharks, but the Canucks would get one. The Canucks would get one from Connor Garland as he would make some moves around. He would find Linus Karlsson on the back door, and he would put it in, and it'd be 2-1. And then yet again, just like when you think they're back in it, they get that one goal, you're like, all right, momentum could swing a little bit. We're going to hopefully get another one. We'll see how they do. This goal happens where the shot from the point goes in. It deflects off Eklund's stick. Rossi tries to bat it away. And he bats in our own net. Rossi gets his first goal as a Canuck. It's just not... It's just like... It's an own goal. It's not the goal we want him to score. But then... a shot from the point from Hronek, I think, would bounce around a little bit. And then Rossi would put it in. It would just barely squeak in, but Rossi would get his actual first as a Canuck, not an own goal. And the Vancouver Canucks yet again would bring it back to 1. And then, a nice pass from Adam Gaudette to find Chernyshov. It was Chernyshov, right? In front, he would put it under the pad of Demko. and they would retake a 4-2 lead. But the Vancouver Canucks, yet again, shorthanded, would find a way to get back into the game with Connor Garland and O'Connor on a break. O'Connor would skate in, and he's got a nice shot when he uses it sometimes. Bang! It was a nice snipe, and O'Connor would bring the Canucks back within one. But then Chernyshov yet again would find Celebrini for a 1T, and God, that 1T was beautiful. Celebrini is such a good player. Or I can't wait to see him on Team Canada. I wish he was allowed to go to the World Juniors. You know how dominant he would have been? That would have been insane. Imagine we had him and Schaefer. That would be insane. And then the Sharks would pick up one more with Graf picking up the empty net, and the Vancouver Canucks would lose 6-3. Yeah, this just wasn't a great week. It was 2 games, but going off of a 4-0 win streak, you would expect a little bit better play than what we kind of saw. Like, that Flyers game was horrendous. We were dominated. This Sharks game, I feel like I missed glimpses of the Sharks game, but at the same time, like, it just, like, every time we were trying to get back in it, we couldn't. Yeah, we did score 3 goals on Askarov, but, man, we let in 6. Like, oh, and Ryan Reeves scored a goal. Yeah, that is the most disappointing thing. But what can you do? Alright, so now let's hop into the news. There's a tiny, tiny bit of news for the Vancouver Canucks. The first one is a good thing. Basil Sassonen? Is that how you say it? I think I've been struggling with it, but he scored in the World Juniors. He had a nice shot from the point that beat the goaltender clean, and he picked up his first with Switzerland in the World Juniors. He scored it against the US of A, too. That's a good thing. If you want the Canucks prospect to score on a team, the US, that's definitely a team you would want them to score on. The next bit of news is that Jake DeBrusk and David Kampf. Now, the big one is Jake DeBrusk will be scratched for tonight's game against Seattle. That will happen probably within hours of this recording. I'm not sure. I'll let you know in a bit when I check the schedule. But yeah, that's a big scratch, and that's accountability. DeBrusk has like 1 goal in the last. I have it here. DeBrusk has 1 goal in the last 16 games. This is the first bit of like, hey, if you're not going to produce, you're going to have to sit. And especially a guy like DeBrusk, it's fine to sit him for 1 game. Just as like, hey, you guys aren't doing it. It's him, not just him. It's Besser, Kane, Garland. It's like, hey, you guys have scored 1 goal in an extended amount of time. We're sitting one of you guys. And you guys got to pick it up. If you don't pick it up, we'll keep sitting you. Right? Like, obviously, we want to tank, but you want your players to do good still. Let's hop into the 3 stars of the week. So, 2 games, 3 stars of the week. There's still a decent amount of points. At 3rd star, we have Filip Hronek with 0 goals, 2 assists, 2 points. He's really stepped it up, and he's continuing to step it up, even in losses. I do enjoy his play, and I'm happy to see that he is stepping it up. He also stepped it up in my franchise mode, going up to an 89 overall, which is sick. So it's nice to see that he's also stepping up in real life. Hopefully he could jump up his real life overall. I'm kidding. Drew O'Connor is your 2nd star with 2 goals, 0 assists, for 2 points. This guy's outscoring the likes of Jake DeBrusk, Brock Besser, Connor Garland, and Evander Kane in 2 games than all of them did in 10 plus games. So yeah, he's having a good stretch yet again. Remember, he had that 7-goal stretch. He slowed down a little bit. He's going to get another 7-goal stretch. But Drew O'Connor, flashy streaks where he'll show some very good offensive excellence, and then he'll just have stone hands for like 2 weeks after that. So it's nice to see that he's on the stretch of being a flashy offensive player. And then Connor Garland is your 1st star with 0 goals, 3 assists for 3 points. Although, yes, he's not scoring, he's helping set up goals. He had a primary assist on 2 goals this week. It might have been 3. I'm trying to remember. I think he might have passed it to O'Connor, but the 2 primaries I remember, the Carlson goal where he found him backdoor. He basically set up that whole play entirely himself. And we got the Sasson goal where he handed it to Sasson. He saw him going in with speed, and Sasson did the rest. But yeah, Connor Garland is your 1st star of the week. Next week is a 4-game slate with 2 back-to-backs. We have the Monday showing against Seattle at 7 p.m., so that's 3 hours from now Pacific. And And then the next game is against the Philadelphia Flyers at the same time in Vancouver. And then we wait till Friday. So Wednesday, Thursday, we don't play. The Canucks play on Friday, though, at home against the Seattle Kraken. And then immediately followed by the Boston Bruins coming in on Saturday night at home. And yeah, that's a 4-game slate right there, 2 back-to-backs. It's gonna be hopefully a decent week. I mean, I can see us going 0-4, but I'd at least like to see us go 2-2, because even then we would be totally fine. But yeah, 0-4 would help us get the first overall pick a little bit easier. But yeah, without further ado, that is it for this one. If you're a Canucks fan and you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I've set a goal to try to hit 500 subscribers throughout the rest of this regular season by April. If you guys could also leave a like and a comment. Let me know what you guys think about the Canucks so far. Do you think that benching DeBrusk was the right decision to help this team? Do you think they should have benched someone else? But yeah, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that's about it. The video on your right is the video from Wednesday. The video on your left is the video from Monday. Subscribe's right down under there. And I'll see you guys in the next one.